Davon McCune, he, him, and Buffalo, New York.
Do you think there are any connections between the Black Lives Matter uprisings and the COVID-19 pandemic to climate change and environmental injustice?
I think that people of color are disproportionately affected by everything. So whether it is racism, whether it is climate change, and even with the pandemic with COVID-19, unfortunately, our country was founded by slaughtering natives and then built on the backs of African slaves. And as we grew as a nation, we built systems that put our bodies always on the front line. So whether it's near where our houses are near warehouses or manufacturing that kills us, that gives us asthma, that gives us cancer and things of that nature, to even the policing of the Black body.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that response. It was definitely more of a little bit of an essay question in the sense of like it's such a packed question. So I definitely really appreciate you taking the time to unload that and to do that. So how has your sense of community changed since the crisis?
Protests/riots were in my backyard. And the next morning I went out and, helped clean up the street. Seeing a friend and former classmate, and was able to talk to him, and then seeing another guy that I used to play football against in high school and then played together in semi-pro. And conversations, I think, has brought me or has shifted my focus more on my backyard. Working with education, working with kids, working with Push and King Urban Life Center, a lot of times where my, and working with Blur, a lot of times where my activism comes into play, where my organizing comes into play, is not necessarily right in my backyard. And even more so, I think, with looking at the way my street has changed over the years. I feel like neighbors aren't as close as when I was younger. And I think that those relationships, really those relationships in your own backyard, on your street, and in your surrounding neighborhood, I believe those have been, I think, long forgotten. For me, it's brought me back to trying to plan to be more intentional about connecting with my neighbors and my community, and trying to build community that way, and also use that as a segue into bringing them closer into my world.
Thank you. And then I just have one final question for you, and I think it might be one of the harder questions, is what was your first experience with racism?
One of my first, I'm pretty sure it's not my first, but one that is vivid and undeniable, is when I believe I was a senior at City Honors, and we were in playoffs at Buff State, and let's say we won the first round. I'm not 100% sure, but we were going out to celebrate, to have a victory. And there was a club for teenagers out in West Seneca called the Roxbury. And so me and my friends went out to go celebrate. Most of us are Black. I think maybe 2 of us was white. But when we got out there and parked and we ready to go, about to cross the street to go into the club or whatnot, a truck drives by full of some white kids, and they're yelling like, niggers go back to Buffalo. And one of my friends, I think he tried to throw a rock at him, and I'm like, yo, chill, because I could have swore I seen somebody with a shotgun in there. Like the word is not worth us losing our lives or things like that. But yeah, so this clear and vivid sticks out in my mind, and I don't think we were too shocked, but it was kind of like the gall. Like I haven't. It was just like I don't know. It was it was sickening.
I'm just really grateful you were able to do this interview with me and like be vulnerable and like own your experiences. So I really appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. Thank you for reaching out.